it's time to start the show. And I'm going to get started right after this.
Evening, folks. How are we all doing today? Tonight, we got a special night. We're going to be going over the 49ers drafts from 2017 through, well, I'd say up until now, but you can't accept, we'll see. Kenny, what's cracking from an undisclosed location on the dark side of the moon? We got from the Bay Area, we got John J. What's up, buddy? And
What's
it's
up?
that Florida man, folks, the resident Ravens fan, Levi.
What's happening?
Wait, hold on.
What's
John
up,
Jay
buddy?
told me that Darwin was an Eagles fan.
What?
Confirmed.
No, that's that one dude. I forget his name. Not here yet. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. What's up, buddy? Thanks for joining. Terror Dome, what's cracking? Dang, he said highlight. Half an hour ago. Must be at work. At work. But speaking of, your browser has been updated to the newest version. I do not care. That's right. That's right. I do not care. Just do what I want you to do.
Just do what I tell you.
I do what I want.
So that's exactly it. I do not care. Oh, I forgot to put PFR. It's my favorite site ever. There we go. Bam. Here it is. Ooh, we're going all the way back to 2017. Here it be. Okay. Let's get it up on screen here. So here we are, right? So as you can see, we're starting with the, John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan era here. And, I mean, the draft right before it, there's two guys still in the league. So shout out to Trent Bleak, Draft before that actually has 4. That's not bad for it being 2015. And of course, Jimmy Ward's the only one in the league from 2014. Everybody else is just, everybody else, right? So, here we are. In 2017, round 1, pick 3, we pick Solomon Thomas, a defensive end from Stanford. Okay. And, he hit the combine. He just tore it up. He was proved to be an athletic beast at the combine. It's almost like, what can you do? This guy's going to be a bad man.
I'm a bad man.
Say what? The cam is showing what?
Uh-oh.
Oh, no. Damian Lee's just telling me something. I got to look at this. Hopefully it's showing me and he's just messing with me, but we'll see. Yeah. See, there we go. Maybe it's like missing the top of my head. I don't know.
Oh, boy.
But anyway, so, here we are, right? But yeah, Solomon Thomas, bust. Okay. Reuben Foster got in some legal trouble because of a lady. Just to let everyone know, he ended up marrying this lady down the road. Akilo Witherspoon still in the league. He's, I think, with that one team in LA that, Sharon is Karen, whatever they are.
No, he's an all-star over there. They love him.
CJ Beathard, the QB. I think he was with the Jags last year. I have no idea where he is this year, but he's still in the league. Joe Williams didn't even make the 53.
No.
Yikes.
He got cut.
Yikes.
In round 5, pick 146, we take a guy that's looking like he could be a Hall of Famer and probably is going to be George Kittle. Again in round 5, 177, Trent Taylor. And at round 6 at pick 198, we take G.J. Jones. Still in the league, tearing it up for the Broncos.
Hey, Mr. DJ.
In round 6, we took Peta Tuma. I'm not even trying.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? He's not in the league anymore, folks. He's not. He had 11 games. And then Adrian Colbert, or is it Colbert?
Nah, nobody
That he played 46 games, but he's also not in the league.
Yeah.
But this is like 8 years ago. I mean, a lot can happen. The fact that we drafted George Kittle, DJ Jones in this draft. I mean, I can't say it's a winner, but it does have some foundation pieces there, right?
I mean, if we kept DJ Jones, it would have been great. Unfortunately, we didn't.
Well, no, we didn't. And right now he's with the Broncos. I don't know if they extended him, but I know they didn't let him go. There's all this trade talk and stuff. But
didn't they have the best defense in the AFC last year? I don't know. Levi might know better on the AFC.
Yeah. So 2018 was actually a pretty good draft. You have Mike McGlinchey. Yeah, a lot of people don't like him, but he moved on from us, goes to Denver, and all of a sudden he's doing better.
Sounds good to be in Denver if you're a Niner.
It sounds to me like they have a real offensive line coach. Shout out to Chris Forrester. And then, as you can see, do we have, who's in the chat here? I'm not even paying attention.
It's just Jake. He's recovery. He's in recovery right now.
I see Jason. Yes, he is in recovery. So shout out to Jason Massey, everybody.
He's eating ice cream and Jello all day.
Yeah, he's the captain.
Yeah, ice cream and Jello all day.
Remember, he's called the captain. The captain.
Yeah, the captain. So, we took Mike McGlinchey, and he's doing way good, but 98 games in the NFL. Dante Pettis.
Who
has been around the league. Didn't play much with us, but he's been around the league now. 58 games.
I think he's scored at least one touchdown on us.
Is he? Well, he has, it says 0 touchdowns. This is his career stats, by the way.
Really? I thought,
it's showing his career stats. He has 83 receptions. Oh, no. There it is. Receiving touchdowns, 13. There it is.
And he was with the Giants.
That's rushing. He has 0 rushing touchdowns.
Remember, he's one of the Giants' best receivers.
Yeah,
that's right. He really is. Where's YTC?
I'm sorry, YTC.
So again, here we are. Though we're still going through the list. Fred Warner, All-Pro Fred, 115 games with us in the NFL. You have Tavarius Moore, who actually had 72 games played. It says he's still in the league. He's probably a special team or somewhere. I don't know.
Good for him.
Contavious Street.
That sounds like a disease.
It really does. But he has 78 games, and he's kind of been a back of the end rotation guy, but, in the 4th round, pick 128. DJ Reed, still in the league on his second contract. Really good player that we shouldn't cut on injury waivers. Okay. Marcel Harris, not in the league anymore, but has 63 games.
Amazing.
Julian Taylor, a defensive tackle who was only with us for one season. And Richie James. Isn't Richie James the Giants great too?
Yes. Yes, he is. We drafted 2 Giants greats.
They're fantastic.
But he has 66 games log. He's pretty much a depth wide receiver, special team returner. 7 touchdowns throughout his career, though. And he actually has more receptions and yards than Dante Pettis. So really that was actually a pretty good draft. You ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys that stuck in the league out of 9 players. Okay.
Just not for us, really.
Well, you can't keep everybody, Kenny.
Mm-hmm.
So
we have a guest.
2019.
We have a guest backstage. I don't know who it is.
Dang it. All right, let me bring him in.
What's up, Juice?
I was just scrolling up.
Crazy Juice in the house. Damian Lee, you're not
Who
wrong.
we got backstage? Spongy? Nope.
Who go
Tommy. What up, buddy?
Hey, God, but my
Tommy,
headphones smell like Astroglide, dude.
I wonder what you were sniffing.
Whoa.
That's my. I don't know why they smell like Astroglide.
Oh no! Is it on sale?
I don't want to know what that is.
You're missing out, dude.
If it's on sale, you should.
I mean, it sounds like some sort of lubrication for some activity.
That's what that is.
Yeah.
So, but here we are, though. We're at 2019, this draft, right? Nick Bosa, who's on a huge contract with us, he gets a lot of attention from the other team. They literally have to game plan just for him. So he's a good player. Hopefully, having more defensive linemen making an impact, he'll be able to not get double teamed so much. Right?
Well, I don't want to down talk the pick or anything because it's a great pick, but it was like the second pick in the draft, so it better be good.
It is the second pick in the draft. He was considered the best player in the draft by a lot of folks.
Some jackasses took Kyler Murray.
Oh
Yeah.
That one team. That one team with 0 Super Bowls. What are they called?
They're so fucking poverty, man.
The Louisville Cardinals.
The Louisville.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Sounds about right. I don't know where they're at. They're somewhere.
Kenny.
Louisville.
But so you got, and then with our second round pick, 36, we took Deebo Samuel, wide receiver, was with us for quite a few years. Now he's gone.
Oh,
With the
man.
Commanders.
We only liked him.
He
when
had
greatest
202 rushes, 1,143 yards, 20 touchdowns rushing, 334 receptions, 4,792 yards, 22 TD.
Yeah.
I wish I had more like stats here. They're
Well, I'll give you
talking
one
all
more stat. He's only the second
stuff
person
up.
in the NFL to ever have 4,000 yards receiving and 1,000 yards rushing.
Hey, so here's the stat though. He is 1 for 3, has 24 yards and a touchdown throwing.
That's right.
So he's not a good quarterback. 33%.
He broke a record at the Super Bowl. He was the first wide receiver with like that many rush yards in the Super Bowl.
So here we are though. We're in round 3. We picked this wide receiver that was supposed to be like great.
Oh, God.
This guy is gonna be like game changing. Never actually hit the field type of guy.
Just because he had one good play in the Dallas pregame.
Dude, he literally logged 0 games. After he left us, and we just said, all right, dude, 3 seasons is enough, which they literally gave him a roster spot for that long, which is just a bad decision. he ended up going to the Patriots, and Bill Belichick put him on the field for practice, and he was like, "Nope, I'm retiring." So, and with the next pick, 4th round, 110, Mitch Wisnowski, the Aussie, the punter,
Mitch Wisnowski.
who has been great for us until last season when he got hurt.
Man, he was awful.
So last season he got hurt. He's been good for us until now. We'll see what happens with him moving forward. That obviously he's still under contract. He's from one of the best colleges in the world, University of Utah.
Hey, speaking of Utah, they have a good shot of winning this year or doing very well.
We'll see. I'm not getting my hopes up because they've had a big gaping hole at QB for a long time. But so here's Dre Greenlaw, who is a game wrecker. He has proven he's a game wrecker with pick 148 in the 5th round. A 5'11.5", 229-pound linebacker who ran a 4.53, but ended up being way better than how big he actually is, right? So he logged 64 games. He actually missed quite a few games while he was with us. But the guy is he's a great player. 3.5 sacks, 3 interceptions. I wish it showed how many tackles he had, but it doesn't show defensive stats here, right? It actually showed Bosa's, though. Look at Bosa's, 62.5 sacks, 2 INT. But Caden Smith, this guy was supposed to be our tight end, too. But John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan had this bright idea to cut him, and the Giants automatically picked him up. And I believe he was a 2-year starter for them at least. Don't know where he's at now in the league, but he is still in the league. I think he's delegated to special teams and tight end 3 type of work now. And then you got Justin School, who is an offensive tackle, was with us for some years. We chose to let him go. Kind of makes me
wasn't that good.
We chose to let him go.
He wasn't that good.
He was decent.
Mm-mm.
He was decent. He wasn't terrible, but wasn't great. But 66 games logged. He is somewhere else in the league playing. I have no idea where. And then you have Tim Harris, the guy who's never had 3 games in the league. So if you think about it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys have stuck in the league out of 9 again. That's a decent draft. It is. It's a decent draft. It's pretty good.
Draft. You know what? The way to judge a great draft though is to go by how many Hall of Famers that class produced. And before we go into
dude, how far back do you want to go here? Do you know how long they have to wait?
Do you know what though? Let me just real quick. In 1997, okay, the Kansas City Chiefs drafted in one draft, okay. They drafted Walter Jones, Hall of Famer, Orlando Pace, Hall of Famer, Jason Taylor, Hall of Famer, Tony Gonzalez, Hall of Famer. That's wild.
Kenny, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. Oh.
No, it definitely is.
That's the thing.
We're up all
you never
night
know.
to
Like
get
you're drafting players from potential, prospects. Like what can they actually do, right? But
warm
here
benches.
we are in 2020. We're actually batting 1,000 for guys still being in the league in 2020 here. We got Javon Kinlaw, who did not work out for us. We did end up rehabbing his knee, though. He has now signed a contract with the Commanders, So he rehabbed his knee on us during his rookie contract. Thanks, buddy. 14th overall pick. Then we traded into the first round, and we got a guy named Brandon Ayuk.
No, I think we already had 2. We had 2 first-round picks that year.
Well, we did. We traded Buckner for the
Yeah.
13th pick, and then we traded back with Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay took Tristan Wirfs.
Yeah. That was stupid.
Fantastic
That's-
decision.
By the way, that's a Hall of Famer. He's going to be a Hall of Famer.
He is. He's that good. And then
he already has a Super Bowl win.
And when he comes back, we'll see what he is. I mean, you tear your ACL, your MCL, your PCL, TCL, your A, B, C, D, E, F, G, C, L.
He's done. He's done, man. Sorry.
We'll see. He's still young, and we've seen guys come back and have good careers on one leg. Shout out to Michael Irvin. He did it. But I'm not saying Brandon Ayuk is Michael Irvin because he's not. But we'll see what he ends up doing. I don't count on seeing him this year. So the next draft pick we had was in the 5th round, which a lot of that has to do with the trades we made to get D Ford, which that was a horrible trade. And then we traded to get Emmanuel Sanders and didn't keep him around. So then, we're missing draft picks here. But we're all the way in the 5th round. We took Colton McKivitz, future Hall of... You notice I stopped? You notice I stopped, right? So we took our average right tackle. That's literally who we took here. 62 games in the league. I can't say much great things. I can't say he has issues with speed pass rushers. He does. We took one of the better blocking tight ends in the league, who is currently a Atlanta Falcon on a 3-year, $12 million deal. Last year is when he signed that, 2024. Charlie Warner, still in the league, though. Not with us, but still in the league. And we took Juwan Jennings in the 7th round at pick 217. What do you have to say about this draft, Kitty?
What year is this again?
2020.
2020.
I mean, they're all still in the league. I do not see a guy that has Hall of Fame potential on that list.
Okay, so we are looking at Javon Kinlaw, who, he had some injuries, so I guess there's still time to decide on him. Brandon Ayuk.
Why are you sideways?
I've never looked.
Hey, Darwin's in the chat.
That's fine.
I think he's backstage.
Oh, is he?
Hold on, I'll be back.
No, I'm here, man. I'm just chilling
bad.
for a little bit.
Oh, he's good. Bad. You're good. You're good, Levi. You're good. But Kenny, you're on the moon, bro. Like, what do you expect? Okay.
Well, I mean, there is no gravity where I am. So.
I mean, you're on the dark side of the moon, so you're just kind of maybe on the side of the crater that you're in.
2020 was a good draft. I mean,
you got to get sitting flat.
You know why 2020 is pretty impressive? All those guys are still playing, I guess. They're not.
So we can say it was decent. I'm not saying it was great because I don't see, other than Juwan Jennings, I don't see a reason to say it's great.
No, it's definitely not great, but it's good. And the best part is that they kind of hit on every pick in every round that they picked. So that's kind of successful. Okay,
so the next draft, 2021, we traded and we got us Trey Lance, QB, our future QB. We're going to be set for the next 10 years. Yeah, he's currently, who did he sign with?
Now he's with the Chargers.
That's right. He's the backup quarterback for the LA Chargers. It was a boomer bust pick. And honestly, if Kyle Shanahan had properly coached the guy and played him, it could be different. It could be, but it just didn't work out. Maybe he wouldn't have worked out with us too. It's one of those things. They traded him after the next draft. We'll talk about that in a minute.
The problem is he barely played, and when we played him, he was absolutely god awful.
He really wasn't, though. I can't say he was god awful, but I can't say he was really good.
I know.
I'm gonna put him right about in the middle there.
The the best he ever played while he was on our team was in the preseason in the fourth quarter when he was going up against grocery baggers and future mall cops.
Well, he actually played. It seemed like when he came in and he played the first half, he'd just stink it up, and then the second half he would come out and actually do pretty good.
We don't have.
It's like you got to put a whole game like that together. You can't just play a good half.
I know, and
you know,
in his very first game, he ran the ball 16 times. Then when he played in Houston, he showcased his arm. Now, one of the things that I will say is that he needed a lot of power, and because Kyle, again, for whatever the reason, if you drafted a quarterback third overall to be a developmental guy, you should never do that. And so
that's so stupid.
I don't that's always like pissed me off. Like if you're gonna draft the quarterback to be the guy, not a developmental guy, you could have waited until the 11th pick or in the following round. But that's that. Really, yeah.
I don't know why they. I mean, I wanted Wilson, so it's like I think they wanted Wilson too. But if you know you couldn't get him, there was no point in trading up at all if you couldn't get him in number 2.
Yep. So that's.
I'm kind of chuckling about this one thing here.
Here's the thing. I don't know how much. Kyle isn't that good, okay? This kid.
This is what Damian Lee's talking about, Kenny. You must crawl before you walk. Kyle can't develop Trey. Kyle can't develop. Trey has talent. Watch him in San Diego.
Last time I saw him play in Dallas, he threw like 3 interceptions and a half.
No, dude, there's no. Yeah, maybe he'll be good, but I seriously doubt it. I mean, maybe he could learn behind Herbert. I mean, that's a possibility because Herbert's fucking amazing.
And the coach that he has finds a way to utilize. Like, look what he did with Alex Smith.
Well, Alex, yeah.
So
all right. Well, to be continued.
Let's talk about the second round pick in that draft. Aaron Banks, our offensive lineman. He
was solid.
53 games for us. He was with us for 4 years. So pretty much all those years were 17-game seasons, weren't they?
When did they start? 17? Didn't they start 2017?
Yep.
Wasn't that? No, I think they started in either 21 or 22. I can't remember.
Who?
No, we're talking
Banks? Yeah.
When they started playing 17 games instead of 16.
It was a 21 season because after the COVID year, they voted on a new new player agreement, and one of the things that was on there was a 17-game schedule.
So stupid, man.
So here we are. So he played 53 games out of 68 with us. So he missed 15 games. What, Tommy? Like, what are you doing?
No, I'm washing dishes. I'm gonna put on mute. Hold on.
Oh, I was gonna say, are you in the bath or something?
He's on his bidet.
No.
So, he missed 15 games with us in over 4 seasons.
Could be worse.
Well, honestly, if you think about it, most of that was his rookie season. If you think about it, because he didn't play his rookie season.
And we didn't have him a 5th year because he wasn't a first rounder, so we barely had
That's exactly it. So, but yeah, so he was a starter with us basically for 3 years, signed a big contract in Green Bay, and that should net us a 3rd-round compensatory pick. Trey Sermon, the running back in the 3rd round. This is the start of everyone going, what are you doing, Kyle?
Mm-hmm.
So they picked Trey Sermon out of Ohio State. He currently has 134 rushes for 505 yards. That's not, that's actually not terrible. 3 touchdowns, 22 receptions, 138 yards. But he got cut from us. He went to the Eagles.
And now he's a Colt, I believe.
Yes, I think he is an Indianapolis Colt now. So he's bouncing around the league with our backup running back spot. Ambry Thomas, a guy who showed flashes his rookie year because we signed Josh. What is it? Josh. I'm trying to think of a nice way to put this. Josh Norman, the guy who was getting pass interferences left and right. He was done at that point. I don't even know why we signed him.
Turnovers though.
He would get a peanut punch every now and again.
Norman.
Then he got benched for Ambry Thomas. Ambry actually played some good football for us here and there. But at the end of the day, how a lot of people say, he didn't work out.
In the end, it doesn't even matter.
That's exactly it.
You can't punch the bag.
He was cut over the course of last season. I do not know where he ended up. I don't think I care. Jalen Moore, our backup, our swing tackle that we had for a few years, right? He ended up playing out his contract with us. He started games at left tackle last year for Trent Williams. It gives him credit for 55 games. So he got some playing time with us.
Yeah.
But so he signed a 3-year $45 million deal with the Chiefs.
I don't know. I don't know what the Chiefs are doing.
Hey, they can do what they do. That's fine.
Yeah.
So that's probably going to be a 4th round or 5th round compensation pick. Then you got Diamador Lenore, who is currently our starting outside corner. And he was extended mid-season. So he's going to be around for a while. Still young. You know, actually, really, he's our type of player. Flies around, likes to hit people. He's a prototypical 49er defensive player. And, you know, so he'll be with us. And here we go. Talanoa Hufanga. A guy who had one fantastic season but could not stay healthy. When he did play, he played very well. He's good, but the whole can't stay healthy thing, you know. It actually has him listed as having 49 games with us. That amazes me. He only missed 19 games.
Who is this again?
Talanoa Hufanga.
Oh, yeah.
So here's a guy that
I knew he was going to be good.
History of knee injuries. Elijah Mitchell, 4.3 running, 40-time running back. He's currently a Kansas City Chief. Will he actually hit the field with them? We'll see. Right?
I can't believe he has 4.3. He just never showed.
I know.
He was like more of a power back.
His speed, it never showed up.
He's like a power back, more like
workhorse.
I think it never showed up because his knees went bad.
A power back that can't. I don't know. He plays like a power, but he can't sustain it.
So what do you think of this draft, Kenny? I mean, for the most part, it was okay. I'm going to say mid.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, in this, real quick, let me just quadruple back real quick. In 2017,
one was an All-Pro.
In 2017, we didn't like CJ Beathard, we didn't like Joe Williams, we didn't like Pita Tuamopinu or whatever, right? Those were all reaches for the rest of the world, but not for the Niners. So let's go ahead and put this in there when we're doing these draft classes. That was 2017.
But let's talk about how
you're going to start using the term reach. That's fine.
I
told you reach is relative because
we're just gonna go with history and fact. It's not opinion. In 2017,
for what we got for Huff, that was a steal, man.
What we got
for All-Pro at 5th round, that's a steal.
Who are you talking about?
Hufanga. That was in the 2021 draft.
Hufanga wasn't a draft. No, he wasn't a reach though.
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't.
Kenny, you remember when we went through and we kind of looked at where the players were ranked and all the different sites had them all over the place?
Well, there's a consensus big board. That means it's the average of every single media publication, meaning everyone else in the world, and then the Niners. I mean, if that's not a good litmus test for you guys, I don't know what is. So in 2017, we had 3 reaches. Those guys were trash. 2018, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, according to this chart, 5 reaches. Do you want to hear their names?
Yes.
This
Dante
chart.
Dante Pettis, Tarvarius Moore, Marcel Harris, Julian Taylor, and Mike McGlinchey, who wasn't a huge reach, but he was a little bit of a reach.
Julian Taylor was a
all
seventh
but
round
one of those
pick.
guys, were trash. Right now, this chart is fucking spot on. So let's move to 2019.
Julian Taylor was a 7th round pick, Kenny.
He was, and he was ranked 486.
Damn, son.
All the players that were coming out, and the Niners spent a 7th round pick on him that they could have got him undrafted. This is what they do. So okay,
Yeah, this is
You don't
exactly.
know. You don't know they could have got him undrafted. Another team could have taken him.
Well, they could have fucking had him because he didn't do shit. So 2019, Jalen Hurd was a reach. Justin Skule was a reach. Charlie Werner was 2020. So Justin Skule, Jalen Hurd were reaches. Mitch Wisnowski and Dre Greenlaw were also considered reaches. You could say that they worked out. Obviously,
Greenlaw was a reach?
Oh, no, he was not a reach.
Who said Dre Greenlaw? Dre Greenlaw went in the 5th round, guys. He was ranked 100. He was ranked 148th best player coming out of the draft by everyone else in the world that has to do with football. That's what they ranked him. I'm not making these numbers up. This is like
so 148th. That's where he was picked, Kenny.
No, right. That's when he was picked. He was ranked 257 by everyone else that was in the draft.
Bull. Listen,
Lawrence came in the chat to tell us how the couch is doing.
Hold on. These numbers on my ass.
Let me explain. These draft charts are bull, stuff. And I'm going to explain why.
Bull stuff, baby.
I'm going to explain why.
This is done by a draft site. This is a draft site that exists that you can go look at yourself.
Let me explain something. When you look at, like the ESPNs and all these, networks, the thing, how they rank players is completely wrong because everyone knows there's a rule of thumb. Quarterbacks are not ranked up there. In football, in general, with the new way you play football, quarterbacks shoot up in the chart. And so a lot of players shuffle up and down. And so that's the problem. And so no one should ever take anything from these draft charts as a rule of thumb. And there's so many other websites and whatever, how they rank players. It's this term perception. And my favorite word is like subjective. But at the end of the day, when those players step on the field, you find out who is a reach and who is not.
And so, that's why the chart exists. So let me finish.
And I get it. Of course, there has to be some people who have to rank these players. And there's a lot of mistakes all the time. I criticize Mo Kiper all the time. He does not know what he's talking about. But
he invented covering the draft, but he doesn't know what he's talking about.
The guy who invented covering the draft that he did not invent. But here's the thing. And so some people have certain top 100s, charts. And so when you rank players, you go best available. You hear this term, best available. And so the best available players are never drafted where they're supposed to be drafted. So let me go to the Dre Greenlaw. While Dre Greenlaw in many draft sites, he was weak. When he was in Arkansas, he played better than a lot of the players who were drafted before him. The only reason why he was ranked the way he was, Arkansas is not Alabama. Because again, you have to go to the era, and some schools are penalized. And so there's a reason why when some players are drafted, when Fred Warner was drafted, everyone laughed at me. I said, this guy's going to be a good player. I was right. When we drafted Dre Greenlaw, I was right. And I'm going to piss off a bunch of people in the chat right now. But
that was a join
when
without
Russell Wilson was drafted. I said he was
the
quarterback in that draft class. And you look at his career, he had the longevity. You can say he was carried by Seattle, but he had the longevity and he won a Super Bowl. So that's the metric when you look at it. You have to look at how these players are. Just because some draft site is telling you this is correct. Sometimes you have to go.
It's not about
against.
being correct. This is just a chart that lists the average of everybody else's. Some people had Drake ranked 100. Some people had him ranked 50. This is a consensus.
This is off.
All the publications, they took them, they added them up, they divided them by the number of publications, and the average of all the rankings of NFL, ESPN, Rivals, 24 Sports, Draft, all these people who do this, ABC, Fox, NBC, all those people, the average of all of their rankings, his rank by everyone was about 257th best player. This is before they play. This has nothing to do with how good he did after. So that's all I'm saying. So the Niners took him at 150. He was ranked to be 100 picks later. That's just what defines a reach, bro. I'm not knocking these players. This is a factual mathematical equation that is done on a. This is not made up, dude.
I don't like analytics. I'm old school. And anyone who needs to do it. And again, people can disagree with me. I'm not here to change your mind, Kenny. I'm just telling you.
No, I know. I'm arguing with you because we're not arguing about the same thing. You're telling me about what you think you see in a player with your eyes and your guts, and that's fine.
No, I just dropped facts on you. And again, you don't need to take what I say true. I'm just dropping facts.
What facts did you drop?
Hold on. If you believe the opposite of me, that's okay. But sometimes the facts,
I didn't say that.
Hold on. The facts sometimes stump what all these experts, okay? And at the end of the day, it seems that, we are far apart when it comes to
we're not even in the same ballpark, bro. You're something completely different. This is not what I'm talking about. I'm just telling you facts. I don't have to argue facts.
Dude.
This is like a new thing.
That's okay. Facts. I'm just trying to give you my perspective.
Kenny, so okay. So you're saying Dre Greenlaw was a horrible draft pick because of where we picked him.
No one is saying he was a horrible draft pick. I'm just telling you that by this metric, that is a mathematical equation that is just a fact. It's just a ranking average of a consensus big board. I like Dre Greenlaw. I think he's a good player.
And all these big boards, how accurate are these?
Right. If I can't finish and explain it, you guys can yell over me the whole time. I'm not here giving my opinion. This shit is not my opinion. The new chart.
It's someone else's opinion, Kenny.
No, it's everyone else's but the Niners. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Now, that's great that the Niners can hit on fucking Dre Greenlaw. That's fantastic, bro. Everyone hits on players once in a while. That's fantastic. I'm just telling you, everyone else ranked him. Consensus coming out of the draft, the Niners picked him 100 picks before. They did a good job in this particular case. That's awesome. Great. In this case, they did it.
Anyway, we were looking at the draft, Kenny, before you decided to start talking about reaches and things that are kind of relative because you're talking about people's opinions, scouts that are all over the place with this info.
Yes, and the Niners have an opinion too. You're saying that that's the only one that matters, and I think that's.
I'm just saying, everyone is all over the place with this info. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
What about all the other reaches that they were horrible and didn't play for the Niners? That doesn't matter to you.
Mostly the third rounds.
It's like they won Michael Jackson, so everyone that comes out of the draft now is going to be Michael Jackson.
Again, Kenny. The reason I don't evaluate drafts until 2 years, like we you know this, because I want to see the players on the field. I want to see what they do.
2017 is what we're talking about. 2018, 2019. This is years and years and years ago.
Yeah,
They're facts.
And we've already gone through those.
We passed them, and I didn't bring this up because just letting you go. But if we're just going to blow through drafts and not talk about them, then you're just reading a list off. I mean, we have to address these things. So
where was Trey Lance ranked?
Out of all these reaches that I mentioned, you like one guy, Dre Greenlaw. So the chart is.
I just mentioned one guy.
Right. So all the other guys I mentioned, you didn't like. So, how is the chart wrong? Why are you arguing with this chart? There's a new one that came out this year, and it also points out reaches, and those were also bad picks.
Terradome's correct. He's not a bust or cannot play. It's just considered a reach by definition.
That's all I'm saying, bro. I don't care what you saw in a guy, and if you you guessed one guy was good. Big fucking deal. Congratulations. That's not what makes a scout. If a scout hit on one guy every fucking 10 years, he'd be fired. That's not how it works. This shit matters. Everyone else in the world thinks one. It's like when people go and they're like, "Oh, we don't," 85% of the United States thinks one thing, and you're like, "I'm in the 15%. I'm right." Maybe.
Where was Fred Warner ranked?
Who?
Fred Warner.
Fred Warner was terrible in college.
First of all, Fred Warner is not a reach. This is what I'm saying. You guys need to understand the chart before you argue.
I'm just saying, where was he ranked?
But
I don't know because he's not on this chart because he's not a reach.
Okay.
And then I've had people argue with me about Kittle. What about Kittle? Kittle's not a reach because he was supposed to go in the 3rd round. He was a skinny wide receiver, and he went in the 5th round and became a tight end. It has nothing to do with the reach chart. I need people to stay focused on this shit. You want to yell over me, that's fine, but you have to understand
no one's yelling though.
Before you're screaming over. You have to understand the material.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, that's where those scouts had them ranked. I got you.
And they were all right, except for Dre Greenlaw. So let's go. Keep going.
They were all right.
So 2021, Trey Lance considered a reach. That was a bad pick. A bad pick. Charlie Werner, 2020, considered a reach. It was a bad pick.
He was
good in the run game.
Tight end taken in the 6th round with the 190th pick.
And he was ranked by everyone else consensus ranking 311. And the Niners
when you hit the 6th and 7th round, that's when you start taking the guys that you like. You don't care where they're at.
Round. Brock Purdy, Jawan Jennings, these picks matter. You don't waste a 7th rounder on your fucking whim when everyone else in the whole football world has people ranked a certain way, and the Niners go on their own fucking.
I think we can all agree that the Niners reach.
If the
That's
Niners
what they do.
were nailing these picks, then you'd be right. But they are not nailing these picks. And our team.
Charlie Warner was a very good blocking tight end, decent receiving guy.
Never played.
I don't know about decent. No, he played. He played.
Oh, well, why don't let's look up his stats, Charlie Werner as a 40. Let's see what he contributed to the numbers.
81 games, he had 18 receptions, 166 yards, but that doesn't account for all the run blocking he did for us.
Yeah, once he was leaving, when did he leave? The year 2020 after the Super Bowl, right? Or was it before?
Yeah. I think it was last year.
I think he was with us until 2024, 2023.
Yeah, so you saw how bad the run blocking became. And we blame it on Brendel, but
when they say
Brendel.
9 out of 10 doctors agree. You guys are sticking up for the one doctor that's fucking a moron. That is what you're saying to me right now. 9 out of 10 doctors agree, and you guys are like, well, that other doctor, though, he's a doctor. So, like, this is what it sounds like when you're saying this to me. Why are you arguing with their bad picks? Are you defending their bad picks right now? That's all I'm asking.
No, I'm saying the term reach is relative because it's statistical information compiled from a bunch of scouts that are doing guesswork.
Yeah.
It's a mathematical equation.
It's guesswork, Kenny.
It's
How do you
guesswork.
figure out what a reach is?
Yes.
It's not
Kenny, you're guessing again.
I'm not guessing anything.
No, I'm not saying you're guessing. I'm not saying anything negative to you.
There's
I'm
nothing
saying
about
the
guessing.
Niners and
Numbers.
every team in the NFL, when they draft a player, they're guessing. They're trying to get what the production happened in the collegiate level. That's all they're doing. Whatever happens on the field later, it's a guess. So, and it's true. And one last quick thing I want to point out. When we draft, we don't draft for best player. We don't draft. We draft.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, we don't draft players just because a mathematical equation or whatever is telling. No,
that's how they pick plays.
Yeah, and that's how we do it. Like when we drafted the guy from Georgia in our first pick, we needed another edge rusher. Will he be good as Nick Bosa? I do not know. And when we drafted the guy from Texas, we did not have. So the way we drafted, and I've said this on Rumbo years ago, we do not draft. When we drafted Javon Kinlaw, we did not draft it because we traded away Buckner. And a lot of people got mad at me. And so that's the reason why I have to speak in a louder tone for people to listen when I'm trying to say. It's not that I'm yelling at people.
He was a reach too.
Yeah, so, and I did not like him. I liked the other guy who was drafted before him, but we weren't going to get him. But
well, I think what they saw in Kinlaw was,
you don't believe in the term reach, is all I'm saying. Again, This is just an average of every. Put it this way: if there's 50 people in a class, okay, 48% of them say one thing, and you're in the 2%. That's all I'm saying. You were in the 2%. We are screwing up drafts. We are one of the worst drafting teams since 2017. But you're saying that doesn't matter anyway. Like that, come on, guys.
Kenny, I want to know.
We are?
You just said anyway, and John
Now,
Jake, you don't care what everyone else thinks. Doesn't matter.
Now. Okay, so since 2017, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys in 2017 still in the league, but we're bad at drafting.
No, the 3 guys,
right?
Guys mentioned are the league.
2018, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys still in the league.
Not 3 of the guys that we picked.
Now, out of 8 guys in 2019, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them still in the league. So those 3 years, I can't say we're bad drafts.
Yeah, I think I agree with David.
I'm calling it mid. They're all still in the league, though. Mm-hmm. I'm still calling it mid.
Guys, people have to be in the league. They have to fill 53 men to 32 teams. There's going to be people in the
Facts,
league.
Crazy Juice.
They're not all great players.
But the fact that
not everybody's great. These are good players.
Good.
They're all good players anyway, but to be great, you got to be better than the best.
They're good enough to be the 3rd string on a football team, is what you want to say.
They're good enough to be in the NFL.
Yeah.
Well, fantastic.
Okay.
That's how we're judging.
So 2021.
That's how we're judging.
Every guy is still in the NFL. I still think it's mid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Except for Diamador Lenore. I really like that pick.
Good draft.
I personally
that was mid.
All these.
2020, we reached on one guy, and it's the worst guy in 2020 on that list. This shit makes sense, bro. It makes perfect sense. In 2020, one guy we reached on. Do you guys want to guess which one it was? Why don't you tell
Charlie Warner.
Fucking A, it was Charlie Warner.
You just said it. You just said it, and I'm going to put him above Colton McKivitz when it comes down to it.
Oh, well, then that's just a personal thing. That's not real. That's nobody puts Charlie Warner over Colton McKivitz. It's
Ozzy, it's not real.
When it comes down to it, yeah. So anyway, 2021, Diamador Lenore, the best player by far out of all that whole group. Okay, that wasn't a good draft. Aaron Banks actually signed a huge contract. So did Jalen Moore. So we didn't do terrible, but I'm not going to say we did good.
No.
Okay.
2021, 2022. This is where things get changed and get different. So Drake Jackson has him listed as an outside linebacker.
Listening to all these reaches makes me so happy.
Spongy.
Drake Jackson has the same injury as Josh said. It's a knee patella injury. It's very hard to come back from.
I never liked.
And the chances are he's not coming back, and
they said we
haven't heard anything. But anyway, he's an out. They have him listed as an outside linebacker. So Drake Jackson is a prototypical 3-4 outside linebacker.
Yeah. Played that.
And they had him, dropping in coverage.
Fit the system that we run. That doesn't fit the system we run.
Yeah, he was in coverage the whole time over at fucking USC.
You have Tyrone Davis Price. I think he's an Eagle all-time great.
Dude, TDP, the biggest reachy.
I don't know.
God.
I have a
was that a reach, Kenny?
It 100% was. We took
fucking garbage.
Where was he ranked?
We took Tyrone Davis Price. We took TD Pugh, 93rd. He was ranked consensus by every other team in the world 221, but the Niners are better.
Because Kyle's a fucking idiot, dude.
I know.
Niners are better.
I've been telling everybody, get Kyle out of the goddamn draft room.
Wait till you hear
reaching.
Wait till you hear Samuel Womack's ranking by every.
Well, I remember everybody was glazing this dude, and I tried to tell him when he was in Akron or wherever school he played in the MAC, he was a penalty machine.
The MAC.
Oh.
Indiana.
No, in the Mid-American Conference.
Toledo.
I just want to make a comment.
Stop it, Crazy Juice.
So anyway, Danny
I want to make
Gray.
a comment real quick about TDP.
Oh,
He actually
was great. Okay, go for
yeah,
it.
yes. We do have back-to-back Eagles greats on this list. We just recently released TDP just yesterday, actually, matter of fact. So yeah.
He should be working at fucking McDonald's.
Hey,
I think I did see him at my local McDonald's up the street. So that might be a place where you can find him.
Well, they make it 20 an hour over here in
it's
California.
It's hard enough to find great players. Okay, and then when you do things like reach 235 spots, take that guy.
That's so fucking stupid, man.
Think of who. Well, you know what I want to know. I would love to do is go back and see who we actually could have had instead of this jackass that we picked. That everyone else.
God, what a waste!
There
of a
were a
fucking
lot
pick,
of guys,
man.
Kenny.
No shit, there were a lot.
I'm getting ready to head out, guys. Early
Nice.
tonight. I'm gonna go hang out with the
All right.
girlfriend and
All right, man.
play some
You have a
games.
good
All
night.
right, Levi.
Kenny does have a point there.
Don't you
Personally,
dare
someone
say
that has watched
It ain't gonna get
every
you.
round of the draft for I don't know how many fucking years now. Yeah, the
worst
Niners have
thing-
reached on quite a bit of guys over the years.
Oh,
They've nailed some of
God,
those
guys.
late picks,
Yes.
Yeah,
but
everyone's look. There are exceptions to every rule. That is a
But
fact.
one of the
Exceptions.
things they got to load up on shots. You got to get those extra picks late. That's what it really boils down to. And I'll catch you gentlemen later. I'm
Levi, real
just
quick,
tired.
real
Yeah.
quick, Levi. Quick question.
All right.
The Ravens, the Chiefs, the Eagles, the Bills. They all had picks. They all picked like 20 picks after us. Did they nail their drafts?
A lot, dude.
Yeah, baby.
Fucking nailed their drafts.
There are so many teams that have
The
nailed
Chiefs?
Yep.
Yeah,
We don't
there's
even
a
know
lot,
yet, though.
The
man.
Chiefs, the Eagles,
Which
Bills,
technically,
the
And
Ravens.
that's exactly
right on
it,
that.
Kenny. Quit saying that, dude. You don't know what the players are going to be.
And
Guys,
you know what?
I
Let me
know,
give you an
but
example though of a
Yeah,
guy
Niners Eddie
I had
says the
a guy
Seahawks did.
that I
Dude,
believed
that's what
in
they
on my
said
draft special 2
the
years
year we
ago.
swept them ass.
He
The
got
Seahawks-
drafted
the Seahawks had a
by Atlanta or Carolina, or no, he got undrafted by Carolina. Didn't fucking work out. Took a year off football. Guess what? Last year, he was the number one edge player of that entire draft class last year on a different team. It takes years sometimes for some of these guys to work out, like
There's always exceptions to every rule.
like Chef's saying right now, and it's all also we talk about it a lot. It depends on where a guy goes. That where he went was a horrible place, and when he got drafted or signed, I was sad that he was going there, but I was excited he got a shot.
Mhm.
And to do my
For all
2-year
we
review
know.
and see that he's the number one edge guy now with undrafted,
We know
Niners just need to hire me. End of story, right? I'll fix it all. I'll fix
That
it
is
all.
true.
But,
Levi, your opinion doesn't matter. Only the
All
Niners.
right. All right,
That's so
Levi.
true, though.
Have a great night, buddy.
All right, good night,
Thanks for
man.
coming. I appreciate
All
it.
right, later.
Niner gang, what's good? Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
They don't think being a great guy in the NFL matters.
All right, let's
And
hit
it don't. It don't.
I agree.
Look at some of the biggest players are assholes. Let's be
Yeah.
honest here.
The best players are assholes.
Yes. So anyway, we're having trouble getting through the 2023 draft here, Kenny. So
Well,
we
we're
got
still-
we got to get through 2022 here.
Okay, and
It's all right. We got another hour.
So we got Danny Gray. Danny Gray.
That's
the
what I was
time,
trying to
I
think
really
of. What
liked
the
this pick.
fuck?
I
God.
did. I really liked this pick at the time because of the potential he had. But he was automatically in Kyle's doghouse and
Yeah.
never came out.
I never understood that.
And now he's in Nick
Kyle's a
Sirianni's
fucking
doghouse.
idiot, man. I want to beat the shit out of him sometimes. Fucking-
Damn, Tommy. Damn.
God, after all these
So-
picks,
So let's
I was livid.
Let's ask the question: where was he ranked, Kenny?
who are we talking about? Danny Gray?
Danny Gray.
Not a reach.
probably dead last.
Yeah,
He wasn't
I
Not
like
Not-
reach.
I
wasn't-
like Danny
He
Gray,
was
and I'm
just a
gonna.
guy who didn't succeed in the NFL.
I like Danny Gray because again,
Kenny, we don't know.
And he got injured. He was injured.
I know. So
That's right. He didn't succeed in the NFL. He's
I know,
with
like,
the Eagles. Poor guy.
I like Danny Gray, and because
And that trash city, man. He has to live in the fucking city of sisterly love.
so
Good lord.
So the problem was that when we drafted Danny Gray, it was supposed to be for a different offensive system. Unfortunately, trade didn't work out. Brock Purdy came in, and they're different styles of quarterback. Unfortunately, just like everyone says, when it comes to the scheme, and this is another thing that Niners have a problem is Kyle's offense is king to everything. It's king.
Yeah.
And if the offense is not what he wants, he's not going to draft you. So when he drafts a player, he hopes.
Crazy juice.
And so sometimes I do get angry. Maybe Kyle needs to like trust the coaches to coach these players, because if you think offense, and I agree, one thing I agree with what we disagreed earlier, Kenny, we sometimes need to pick the best players available to make our team better. That's why you draft, not to make, let's make this position a little bit better. No, I agree with that point.
Well, look,
but they would have. If they would have,
who's going to be good? We just
if they did BPA, they would have picked Mike Green. But Mike Green is, they're looking for high character guys, and But I think Mike Green would have.
I just want to say something real quick. I think this is a very good draft because you have 2 Super Bowl champions on here, and one might have gotten cut after winning the Super Bowl, but they're both Super Bowl champions.
The Seahawks had a great draft, bro. So did the Cardinals. They killed it.
Kenny, the problem with the Seahawks is they're constantly getting young, and where's it gotten them?
Nowhere.
I mean,
we'll see.
To beat us every
The
single
season
year.
still has to be played. We'll see. And that they have Sam Darnold. Are you scared of Sam
Doo-doo
Darnold?
Darnold, dude. You really think Doo-doo Darnold's going to beat us twice a fucking year? No way.
Hold on, guys.
No way.
I gotta ask Kenny the question. We gotta let him answer it. Are you scared of Sam Darnold, Kenny?
I mean, wasn't his team like 14-1 last year? Didn't he go like 14-1 to start the season last year, bro?
And he just absolutely choked down the stretch and in the playoffs.
So did Justin Herbert. Are you saying he's a bad quarterback?
Justin Pervert?
Look, it takes
Kenny, that's not the answer. The question is, are you scared of Sam Darnold?
Dude, he is totally avoiding the question.
I am scared of.
I know.
I'm scared of Sam Darnold. I'm scared of Sam Darnold, and then Njigba, and I'm scared of Cooper Kupp, and I'm scared of what other wide receiver. I'm scared of Elijah Arroyo that they got. I'm scared of Gray Zabel, who they just drafted. People that you were drafting in your drafts because you thought they were going to be good players. We didn't.
Hey, you know what CJ West said about Grable?
So do I fear Sam Darnold? Yeah, man. His team was one of the best teams last year, and he threw a ton of touchdowns because he had 2 good wide receivers, and he has 2 good wide receivers again. And so
Cooper Kupp?
He had Justin Jefferson, who's one of the best wide receivers in the league.
He is the best.
He had Addison.
So is Jackson.
He had Aaron Jones at running back, which this is something Seattle doesn't have as a decent running back.
I mean,
I like our corners, man.
Smith and Jigba's he's a badass. Okay,
don't they have Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker III? You're saying they're not good wide receivers, running backs? I would disagree with you.
I'm saying they're not. They didn't produce last year.
No, they were. Zach Charbonnet was a fucking beast at the end of the season, and before that, Kenneth Walker was very, very good.
No, they weren't that good because they weren't running the ball that much.
I mean, when I saw
that's exactly it.
We're racking up fucking fantasy points all year. So
anyway, so we're on Spencer Burford in 2022.
Who is this Sean? Is this a fucking Seahawks fan? We already come on. We already have 1 in here. That's too many as it is. I can't have 2.
I mean, look, we're not scared of the Rams, right? How many games have they beat us now in a row? Nobody's scared of the Rams, right? And how many times have they beat us in a row now?
Okay, 2. That third, the one last year does not.
Because
nope, that doesn't count. Nope. No.
It does though.
That's so stupid. Of course they're gonna count that because they're soft ass pussies. And dude, I don't even know if they fixed their run defense. Did they draft any defensive line?
Kenny, can you not?
They signed Poona Ford.
Tommy, can you?
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Can you say roast beef curtains instead of the P word?
Roast beef curtains.
I think the Rams kind of did a lateral move at defensive tackle because they let a young guy that is like Poona Ford go. So it was kind of.
Dude, they got that linebacker CJ wanted. So they might be better at the run defense with a good linebacker.
I would fear the Seahawks. I would fear the Cardinals and the Rams this year. If you guys aren't, you're fooling yourself. And just like last year, I said the Eagles were going to be a disgusting.
Dude, we're going to have a tough division. It is what it is.
The
season hasn't started yet. So, Spencer Burford.
I
Let's
love how
focus.
the Eagles aren't even in y'all's division and y'all still
I'm
talk
going to
about
mute people here. Spencer Burford, the 4th-round
Duh.
pick. He did all right for us at right guard for a season, and then
It's a good
it
backup.
seemed like he went downhill. And then they actually had him play snaps at left guard last year, and he actually looked pretty good on the left side.
Wasn't bad.
But in college, in his career, he was on the left side. So maybe that's just where he's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
But where was he ranked, Kenny?
Again, not a reach. So he was a decent player. He went right around where he was supposed to go. He's not a reach. Spencer Burford.
But his footwork still needs. That's his weakness is the footwork.
But let's move on
Yes.
to Samuel Womack because that's a fun one.
I know,
So
man.
Samuel Womack is a great special teams player.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
He never cracked like our defense. He went to Indianapolis last year and actually played decent for
Starter.
He was a starter.
Their D wasn't terrible.
But when it comes down to it, this guy wasn't a scheme fit.
No, he
But where was he ranked, Kenny?
Then why did we draft him?
I know,
That's
right?
exactly it. That's exactly it.
That's
Where
the
was
plan.
he ranked, Kenny?
Best player available,
Well, hold
baby.
on. We took him with the 172nd pick in the 5th round, and you can say that pick is a whatever. You just waste it on anyone. It doesn't matter. But for me, I think it's an important pick. What he was ranked by every single other friggin' team and every other publication in the world, 430th best player in the draft.
Wow,
Yeah.
Garbage person.
dude.
Yep.
Colts guy, that fucking
He's
steal.
a starter for the Indianapolis
Guys,
Colts, though,
you
Kenny.
trust me, you agree with me. I'll read you off all the names on this list when we're done
So-
here. Who agree?
No, we don't need to do that.
You
But
want-
he's a starter in the because that'll take forever. You said 430th players. How
I
many
know.
players you got on that list? So
No. 1, 2.
so Sammy
less than
Womack
20.
is a starter for the Indianapolis Colts, and he's solid.
I know, and I don't know why people said he was a ball hawk. He was a penalty machine. So I don't understand.
Yeah.
Again, but
We would have kept him if he was good. Let's
I
just-
know.
college.
Samuel Womack College? I don't know.
Toledo.
Probably a small school.
Toledo. Something
Yeah,
like that.
there you go.
Oh, that ain't no small school. There we
Well,
go.
it's not a huge school.
No, you want to hear a small
decent
school?
It's a decent school.
The
You
small
want to
school
hear a
guys,
small
we got our
school?
people.
Okay,
Right.
Kenny, are you ready?
Yeah.
Nick Zakel,
Oh,
the
boy.
next pick in the draft in the 6th round, taking 187 overall.
He was-
I'm waiting.
His rank was 291. So not an enormous reach, but over 100 picks.
100
Damn, son.
Four spots. Okay. He was in Fordham. Has anyone even heard of that?
Fordham
I've
is
heard of that, but
Fordham is in it's in New Hampshire or in New England. Fordham.
it's a
Yeah, but it's not known for football. You
not
know,
even
they took
cool.
him.
Northeast
When they took
College
him, I was like, who?
Basketball school.
Yeah, Northeast football. I actually said this today. Well, I asked John Jay, why are the teams in the Northeast so bad in college? I don't understand why.
I know why, but it's not the right
So
time.
the next guy is a prototypical Trent Baalke pick. Okay. But we're in the 6th round at number 220. So Kalia
Oh,
Davis.
Oh,
who
jeez.
A lot of folks said he was looking like a first, 2nd round pick, being
People liked
somewhere
him.
around that range. Before his knee injury in college, he played at
He hasn't
Central
done
Florida.
shit. He hasn't done shit.
And that's exactly it. He hasn't. So why would all these
He's like-
guys say he's a first, 2nd round pick before the knee injury?
I don't know, but I remember people.
All right,
He,
well,
he's
he's healed.
he reminds me of DJ Jones. He reminds me of
No.
fucking DJ. Fucking made us fall in love again.
This guy was like Trey Lance. He played 1 year and was hurt 3 straight years.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a fucking injury. Get rid of this guy.
So he's been injured for so long. Okay. When your only good year was like your freshman year, and after that you have never.
Do we still have Khalil or do we have Khalil Davis?
We have both.
Khalil
shit.
is a free agent.
No,
Kalia
Khalil-
is a 49er.
No.
But for maybe until we cut down the 53 man, because I don't think he's making the team this year.
I don't think either one of them are.
No.
But we do need rotational, so maybe one of them.
Yeah.
I
You're
don't
saying
think Kalia Davis is making the team, dude. Because look, we
if
drafted two
Kalia
interior
Davis is a future
guys.
Eagle?
We got Evan Anderson, all three guys on rookie contracts, young, hungry players.
Sam
We got-
Okawanu.
Hey guys, would you say that
Who?
Kalia Davis is a good
Okinawa?
fit for the Eagles?
Sam O. I think he's a
Sam
DT,
Okinawa
or is he an edge?
Japan?
I have to look it up on Google to actually pronounce that right. So
Didn't
I'm not even
Okinawa
trying.
train Danielson in the movie Karate Kid?
So,
Sam
so
Okinawa.
anyway, we got the three young, hungry interior guys. We got Jordan Elliott. We got Kevin Givens.
Ugh.
I don't think Kalia Davis makes the roster.
Jordan Elliott is not a good run. He should come in pass rushing.
He wasn't great last year, but he's probably good enough to be on our backups.
I agree.
He's a rotational.
Okay.
He's a rotational guy.
I
He's
agree.
Gonna come in and he's gonna come in and gas the three young bucks that we have.
All right. So we admit that people in the NFL are not good. Right? That's what you just said.
There are players in the NFL.
You mean
not good,
players
but they're
or people?
still in the NFL?
There's a
aren't
lot
they?
of people in the NFL that aren't good.
Well, that's
Starting
fine.
with that fucking asshole
There
that
are
announces the
basketball
draft.
There are basketball players on basketball.
Fuck him.
That are,
Oh,
you have to have bodies. It is what it is.
So the next guy,
Kenny, can you
Tariq
come to the
Castro
punter?
Fields. We ended up cutting him. He went to the Commanders. I don't know where he's at right now.
Yeah.
He's somewhere in the league.
Who?
The Commanders.
Astro Fields.
Oh yeah, dude, another wasted pick. He
know.
was decent.
I know he was good, but he didn't fit the scheme. This is the problem. Like,
Okay. But,
That's exactly it. He's not. He was a good man coverage guy, but not zone. We play a lot of zone.
I watched him. He was pretty good in college. Really.
So wait, that was probably what's his name pick? The
John Lynch?
DC.
Oh, the DC.
The Super Bowl.
Who was the DC right
Ryan?
there? D'Amico Ryans?
Ryan? No, Wilkes.
Oh wait.
No.
Yeah, Wilkes.
No,
Yeah.
Wilkes was 2023, I thought.
We're in
Wilkes
2022.
was 2023. This is
But remember,
D'Amico
we didn't-
Ryans.
I don't
Oh,
think we
okay. I
signed
forgot.
Wilkes-
I didn't know what year we
But
were
we
in.
didn't sign Wilkes. I thought we signed Wilkes after the draft, though.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
So now,
No.
hold on. But now we got.
No, I think it was
he
before.
reach? Hold on, Kenny.
No, Tariq Castro Fields was not a reach.
Okay. So Brock Purdy. This is why I say it's a decent draft because we found a QB with the last pick in the draft at 262. Mr.
Never happened
Irrelevant.
ever. Never
Where
happened.
was
Kenny
he
to say
actually ranked, Kenny? This is something I've never known.
I just want Kenny to say this is a reach.
No, it's not a reach, actually.
Yeah.
Brock Purdy was picked because, and I always say this, because a lot of people were looking at Brock Purdy, believe it or not. And the Niners knew that. And so they took him before anyone else can deal with him.
Yep.
So it was actually a very good pick. He saved this draft, maybe, and he saved our season.
So
Yeah.
So I want to explain why Brock Purdy was drafted. So again, you got to go to the story. Well, Nick Saban, basically said, he was garbage. Then he says, I'm going to bet on myself. He goes to Iowa State, not Iowa, Iowa State.
Correct, because John Jay, real quick, because they wanted him to back up somebody on in Alabama.
No, but Nick Saban said, you are not Alabama material. I don't know what that means.
Oh, somebody wanted him to get back up somewhere too, but he went to Iowa State.
So the coach who, what was his coach for all 4 years said he's never seen a player elevate the offense. Okay. And he's been coaching for so many years as a coach. And one of the things that, when people were watching games in Iowa, the Big Ten, he beat a lot of the best schools. A lot of his big wins were against Oklahoma and Texas, the big schools.
I believe he beat Jaden Daniels. Is that correct?
Yes, he did. The problem is, and this is the problem that I hate about the draft. There are paid people with the NFL and ESPN because ESPN does give the money to show the draft. And again, I'm probably going to make a video. I've been procrastinating, but I'm going to make a lot of videos about ESPN, college football, and the draft. But if he was in Ohio State, he would have been drafted in the first round. But because he was in certain schools, this is the problem that I do not like about the draft. If you do not play in these 5 schools, Clemson, Florida State, Georgia, Michigan, Ohio, and USC, you are all garbage. And that's the fact. So you have to play by merit. Okay. And this is the reason why I get heated when people have conversations.
Merit.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And so sometimes, again, whatever the numbers say on a piece of paper is wonderful. But at the end of the day, you have to just look at the hypocrisy. That's why Mel Kiper is a goof. He told, again, and he said this so many times. I was not the first person to do this. I was the first person to profit off of this. And when you hear the word, I profit out of something that I stole from somebody else. That's why I do not like Mel Kiper.
No, he's been doing this for 40 years and is one of the most accurate drafters. I mean, again, that's just a fact. You don't have to like the guy, but to say he's trash, but he's one of the best at what he does, I just don't think that that's an accurate
He's one
thing.
of the only people that has been doing it as long. So he has.
Everybody does it, Spongy. Fox News,
No.
NFL, everybody has been doing this just as long, and he's more accurate than they are.
But he's been doing it the longest because now these other companies are bringing in young guys like Field Yates.
No, don't get confused. It's not young guys. It's computers, supercomputers with AI that are now doing this. So remember that.
Okay. So explain Mitch Trubisky being better than Mahomes.
I mean, that's one. Again, that's one guy. Keep going. Tell me 20, Spongy.
He said Jamarcus Russell was going to take the Raiders to the Super Bowl.
I've seen a video about this. And
he said Jamarcus Russell was going to be the next star of the NFL.
Shit.
Go.
The next star on the helmet.
I get it. Like
the Dallas one.
Kenny, remember I showed you just one draft. That's all I picked out. His top 10. And you had 3 players that have made a Pro Bowl out of all 10 of those guys.
This isn't easy to do.
And it's not easy to do, but that's a 30% success rate. You know,
one of the best at it. So I just think that seems silly. It's like going to the doctor. He tells you, "Don't do this."
We're not talking about Mel Kiper. We're talking about 49er drafts here.
You have to show. I have to show comparison.
Mel Kiper also a few drafts ago said that he doesn't do squat. He has 3,000 people. And again, I take the words that come out of people's mouth and I take it and just like YTC and his friends screenshots or like, you know, I have whatever the young people say. Okay. And so, yeah, there's a reason. So that's why I always hold these people accountable. Mel Kiper has
telling me Mel Kiper isn't perfect.
Hold on. Mel Kiper has got players right. Okay. He's got players right. But at the end of the day, 90% of the time, he gets it wrong.
And you know what? 96% of the time, everyone else gets it wrong. So, like, you see what I'm saying? Like, nobody's perfect, but he's one of the most accurate drafters since he started doing this 40 years ago. Why are people knocking people with 40 years experience now? That's how we ended up with what we're dealing with now in the overall.
40 years too long.
Yeah, way too long. He should have retired years ago. He needs to do the dude, and I don't want to kind of be insensitive, but he needs to do what the guy from college football retires.
So why don't you guys name me 5 guys that are more accurate than Mel Kiper? Go.
Well, I'm not saying more accurate because I don't know.
5 guys, go. There's 5 of you here. Name one each. Go.
One guy who I would rather listen to.
You don't fucking even know one. This is what I'm trying to tell you guys.
At least recently, who's been more, you can say, correct.
Brendan Donahue, Field Yates, Walter Football. These people have all been more accurate than him, but I'm asking you to tell me. But you don't know because all you're doing is...
Well, Kenny, that's because we're not looking into it because we don't care.
There you go. You don't care anyway. It doesn't matter then. It's fine.
Say Field Yates,
right?
But...
If you don't care, it definitely doesn't matter. A teacher used to tell me that you don't know, you don't care. It's the same thing. You don't know and you don't care is exactly the same thing. So
exactly the same thing. Because right now we're supposed to be talking about the 49er drafts and we're talking about the guy with the worst hair out of all the announcers on draft weekend. I don't hear Kenny arguing about that.
No.
Okay. So Brock Purdy, not a reach. So 2022, I actually gave it a C, and Kenny knows this because of the Brock Purdy pick. We do have 3 guys on there that have played 40 games or more in the NFL. But because of the Brock Purdy pick, I gave it a C.
You can
now,
go
this next draft, I actually graded a F plus. Even though it's not a thing, and it is in my world. Okay.
Could be.
Here we go. Right. All right, Kenny. So in the third round,
For
with
effort.
the 87th pick in the draft, we took Jair Brown,
Penn State.
Penn State. Is he a
We
reach?
are.
Not a
We
reach.
are Penn State.
And honestly, he's a strong safety, and he had to come in at free safety, which is out of position. He doesn't. Last year was his sophomore year. Typically, there's a sophomore slump. I'm going to give him a chance. This year, he's probably going to be starting the season because our starting strong safety has a knee injury, not a torn ACL, but he did have to have surgery to have it repaired.
I have nothing against Jair Brown. Nothing.
So
I do,
Jake
sucks.
Moody. Jake Moody with the 99th pick overall.
Oh, boy.
Tommy.
Was he a reach, Kenny?
What do you think?
I'm thinking any kicker you take in the third round is.
You're absolutely right. And so Jake was taken 99th, and he was ranked 186th by, again, not by every single person 186. Some people had him 50. Some people had him 500. Some people had him 300. I'm just saying the average of all those people they came up with was 186. That's an 88% reach. That's a lot. That's
You don't
far-
take a goddamn kicker in
Yeah.
fucking third round.
I
God
know,
damn it.
I know. So we're still in the third round, and we're talking about Cameron LaHoo.
Latu.
I
LaPue.
think he was projected to be a 5th or 6th rounder. Was that true, Kenny?
Cameron freaking Labia Latu?
Cameron dropped two, was taken out 101, and he was
Drop
ranked
two.
180. 180. So it's not a huge reach.
Not a huge reach, but the guy sucks. I
it's
knew
almost
he.
like-
That's
rounds.
5th,
Almost
borderline
3 rounds.
6th, just like I said.
That's almost 3 rounds, yeah.
I've been
When they
saying
took
it ever
him,
since
I
he
was
got
like-
drafted.
Huh?
I just knew he was going to suck, and I was right. I'm like, he sucks. I never heard of this guy. There were so many better
So
tight ends.
Again, this draft gets an F plus for me, folks. Just so you know,
Plus.
as we go here.
But
Yeah.
We
wait a
got
minute.
Daryl
Kick?
Daryl Luter Jr., who needs
Ugh.
to be the guy in the front on special teams. He does not need to be anywhere near the ball because it goes off of his back foot.
This poor bastard.
But he's a corner.
This
We
motherfucker
haven't really
cannot
seen
stay
what he's
healthy.
got. We haven't seen what he's got because he can't stay healthy.
Yeah,
But
unfortunately,
Daryl Luter, where was he supposed to be taken? 155.
Him and
overall,
Luter.
Kenny.
he
Okay, go
actually
ahead.
wasn't by the chart. He wasn't a reach, and Daryl Luter was actually supposed to be very, very. He's perfect for our defense. He was supposed to be.
He's a
really-
good player. He just can't stay healthy.
I know that's
And he
the-
makes dumbass special teams blunders.
I know, like
God
again,
damn it.
again, I don't
Sorry.
want to like. At one point, I followed a lot of people who had 49ers channels, and there were so many people that were like glazing them. Oh, this guy's going to be like Jalen Ramsey, blah 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 blah.
My
He hasn't been
freaking
on the
ass.
field, so we don't know if he's good. Like we don't know. He has to be on the field.
Yeah,
I've seen flashes. But he can't stay on the field, so that's a big problem. So we got Robert Beal Jr. with the 173rd overall, outside linebacker, and that's so pretty much he's a 3-4 outside linebacker that does not fit our system. What is
God
he supposed
damn
to be,
it.
Kenny?
Robert Beal, not a reach.
Okay.
I think we got to trade him.
And we've seen him flash too, like in the Super Bowl against Kansas City's trash offensive tackles. Well, okay, bad offensive tackles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He was kicking their ass, but beyond that, the guy can't seem to get on the field. So, it's kind of a depth piece from Georgia, and he's not really playing.
Yeah, he's going to be on the Bravo unit, so he'll make the team.
I don't know, buddy, because right now at edge we got Nick Bosa, we got Mikael Williams, we got Yetur Gross-Matos, we got Samo, and I think we're going to be keeping 5 interior linemen. So I don't know if he actually cracks the roster this year.
Maybe you're right.
And I don't know. Tim Tebow used to play for the Eagles.
Who?
Tim Tebow.
No, he played
So-
tight end for the Eagles.
So the
Oh,
next
yeah, I
guy,
forgot.
this was the only pick I got right out of this draft. D. Winters.
Oh, jeez. He has so much potential.
Not a reach.
Not a reach at 216. And he does have a lot of potential, but he gets so dinged up every time he plays.
Yeah.
I think the guy has bad luck. He needs to work on being in the right place at the right time instead of the right place at the wrong time.
I think he's Elijah Mitchell's counterpart, but on the offense.
D.
On the
Winters,
defense.
He hasn't been severely injured. He just gets dinged up.
D. Winters is
You
pretty
know?
fast. He's not a bad player. He's like the
No,
road
he's
runner
good.
on ice skates. The road runner on ice skates is D. Winters. That's the problem.
Yeah. And Robert Salah's back. So we're going to see what this guy's got now because he's going to coach him up. Okay. So
How many pick? That was
we got next guy, Braden Willis.
a.
I know CG likes this dude.
Yeah, because he had him on his channel, so he loves him, and that's fine. I get that.
So, Braden Willis at Oklahoma. That's another reason CG likes him.
There you
Yeah.
No wonder. Jesus. Another fucking later.
go. Okay. Oklahoma.
Ah, God.
So Braden Willis though, the guy gets cut, brought back on our practice squad. I don't think he's going to be a productive player. I don't think he's actually going to be cracking the roster this year. He'll probably get beat out by Ross Dwelly.
I mean, yeah. If we have Luke Farrell and Dwelly and Kittle,
Will Ferrell? What?
Will Farrell's on the team.
Yeah.
No, it's his brother. It's his brother Luke Farrell.
And I think we gave Luke Farrell $9 million, bro.
I think it was like 3 years, $20 million. He gets like $7 million a season.
There you go.
But he is the third best pass blocking tight end in football. And with how bad our offensive line is, we're gonna need him.
Well, that's why they picked up. They got Dwelly back then because he can catch passes. He's not the strongest blocker, but we got our blocker now. We got our backup catching. So it makes sense at least. You're filling a spot that you need. That's fine.
Yeah. And we also have that guy Jason Tonga, I think.
Tungus.
So we'll see.
Jake
what happens.
Tongas.
We'll see what happens. There's a
Tongas.
competition going on for backup tight end. Okay.
He worked AMPN. Tungus.
And now we got Ronnie Bell, a guy that looked really
Oh
good
my
in the
God.
preseason, his rookie year, and just
Ronnie.
You know what? He had a great game against the Giants in the Super Bowl year.
Yo no quiero.
I think he had like 2 touchdowns.
yeah, I don't know if he's even in the league right now. That was 2 of his 3 career touchdowns, Tommy. So, And then we got Jalen Graham, who's a backup linebacker who can't. He got cut and brought back, so he's kind of a into the line type of guy. So pretty much F+ is what I'm giving 2023.
To be fair,
God damn.
it was 100% a terrible draft. But remember, we didn't start picking until the 3rd round. That's tough, bro.
Yeah.
But you still got to do better than that, though.
I mean, if
You
Tig
really
has
do.
a turnaround, if he has a turnaround year, which I doubt, then it'll be a C draft.
Really, he
I
has
know.
to fill in there. He
I
does.
know. I know why. Steve Wilkes really liked him when he was there, and I think when Wilkes left, I think his production fell. And again, I'm not trying to defend him like someone I know, but the point is that I do think he's a great player because he's a good ball hawk. Now,
Yeah, good with the ball.
Will they ever work out without Steve Wilkes? I do not know. And again, this is the science of drafting. We don't know, and we can go by the rankings. But I've seen a lot of ranked players who are really good. I remember, I forgot who it was, but there was a guy from Oklahoma State. I think last name Gilbert. I forgot his first name. He was the best guy, and he went to the Browns. He sucked. There was a guy called Jason Verrett. Unfortunately, he had injury, but I always said Jason Verrett was the better player. Always felt that. Unfortunately, Jason Verrett always got hurt, and he never got to see that potential. So,
listen, you're 100% right. Even players that consensusly are ranked amazing by everyone can still tank. That's absolutely true. Can still be a bad player, even though everybody loves you. You can still be bad.
So, 2024, again, I'm not ready to grade this.
Too early.
And, you know, this draft actually looks really good at this point. You know, we got Ricky Purcell, who didn't play much in the preseason, got shot.
Welcome to the Bay.
You know, came back for 11 games, started to progress, and he ended up with 31 receptions, 400 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
And one of those games, he had like 170 yards, didn't he?
That was one of the last couple games of the year, so he really started to come around in those last several games. So that this could end up being really good. We don't know. We'll talk about that next offseason.
Yeah, this draft class is incomplete right now. We're not done judging them, but right now it looks pretty good.
That's exactly it, Kenny.
Well, it looks like an A to me.
Yeah.
But Ricky Purcell was supposed to be ranked, what, 50?
Okay. Ricky was a little bit of a reach, but a tiny, tiny bit of a reach, so it's not a big deal. Ricky was taken 31st. God bless you, boys in the hood. And then he was supposed to be. Look, I saw him. So this is what I'm trying to explain. It's just an average, okay? So like Draft Buzz, NFL, ESPN, they had him around 38, but the consensus was 52. I don't agree with the 52 consensus, but that was the consensus. And so we took him at 31. He was supposed to go around 52. So we can't pick again before that spot comes. So that makes sense. If you want a guy, you want the guy, and you want him, but he may not be there when you pick again, and you take him. I don't consider that a reach. Even though they might consider it a little bit of reach, I don't consider it a reach, because if you're going to pick again, but he won't be there, I don't think that's a reach.
I know. When I saw that, I was like, basically, like I didn't know what to react. But when Kyle Shanahan said in their board they had him as a first round talent. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of PFF, but when PFF had him, and when I looked at it, it was 47th in PFF. The Niners' next pick, I think, was going to be probably in the 60s. And so if a team at 47 or between 47 and whenever we picked them up, Kyle was like, it's better for us to draft the player at a position, even if they're not ranked where they're supposed to. And I want to talk about one of the greatest Niners. I think we can all agree, Jerry Rice. When Jerry Rice was drafted by the Niners, he was not a first-round guy. But the Niners said, hey, we like this guy. We do not care what he's ranked. We're going to draft Jerry Rice. Best move the Niners did.
And he wasn't even the fan guy either. They took a chance on Jerry Rice, and he wound up being the greatest wide receiver in the history of the NFL.
Of all fucking
if anyone wants to
time.
argue with that, we'll
Probably some stupid Rams fan.
So the next
Super
pick,
Cup is better. It's like, shut up.
No, he's not. The
Well,
next
Not
pick,
even close.
Renardo Green. Now, he was taken 64th overall. He actually he got to play some last season because our Travarius Ward had family issues. Personal issues, I'll say.
Notorious Javarius.
Very sad personal issues.
Yeah.
But he got to play some last year, and he started to get better and better. I honestly think this is a really great pick at number 64. But what do the scouts think, Kenny?
So Renardo Green was, again, like Ricky Pearsall, a very, very tiny reach. So again, not a big deal. Really not a big deal. He was ranked we took him 64th. He was supposed to go 108. Again, wouldn't have been there if picked again. So that's fine.
I thought it was we were going into this new way of drafting not reaches, and then I saw the fucking Kyle picks this year. But we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that here in a few. So right now we're at Dominique Pooney, who could be the best draft pick in this draft.
God. He better just not have the sophomore
Kenny?
slump.
We traded up. We traded up to get him. Where was he ranked, Kenny?
Why couldn't he do that this year?
Not a reach, sir. Not a reach.
Oh, and you can ask YTC. I was like, hell yeah, when we drafted him. I know a lot of people did not like him, but when he was in Kansas, he playing on that left side of the field, how he would open up lanes for the running back, how he would basically open up lanes for the running backs and the quarterbacks. what he would do downfield for the wide receivers, and it was really good. Now he's part Polynesian, and so
He's good in pass pro too.
yeah, so that's one of the reasons. But when we draft him, we put him the same thing with Burford at the wrong spot. He's a left guy.
Maybe he should go to left guard then. But then McKivitz
made
will
the
drop
team.
down to shit again.
He might this year because John Jay is right. He was a left guard, and he played some left tackle as well. His side is the left side.
But he played really well on the right side.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
did.
So maybe we should leave him over there and
That's
just.
great. It's a great test.
Probably.
I mean, why do they want to put Barch in there after one good game in the snow? Dude's injury prone too.
Barch. We still have
Well,
him.
you got Barch,
Yeah.
Burford, and Zakel all looked
Barch-
okay in limited snaps last
Yeah,
year.
we're counting on Barch this year.
Yeah. I don't like it.
We got 3 guys, Kenny. We got 3 guys.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens though. But now Malik Mustafa, who ended up playing a lot because Talanoa Hufanga was hurt, and he actually looked pretty good. Right now, he's hurt. But was he a reach at 124?
Absolutely not. It was a great pick, and that was our Trey Lance compensation for giving him to the Dallas Cowboys.
Thank you, TL.
So I forget, folks. Dominic Pooney and Malik Mustafa were the 2 I got right in this draft.
Dominic Cooney, if you remember when we were doing the draft together that year, and I was saying as well, he was we had like 3 good linemen left, and they wound up taking one of them. I couldn't even believe that they did.
So the next pick, Isaac Garindo, and I mean he's big, he's fast. He started to look pretty good as the season went last year, and we had to play him. But now it's like he's been in the offense for a year. So this next year we'll kind of see what he made of, except for the fact that we have CMC back, and I don't know how much we're actually going to see Isaac Garindo.
Guys, I pray to God that CMC is 2023 CMC, and no other running back ever has to touch the ball, but I don't think that's really going to happen.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe Kyle will say, look, dude, we got other guys. I want you out there most of the time, but we got to get these other guys in there. I don't want you overdoing it. Maybe. You never know, but we know how Kyle is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like 2019, he had a 3-headed monster, and seems like he gets a really good running back. He's like, yeah, just stay on the field. You're good. It's like, come on, man.
The thing about 2019, though, guys, is that if you remember, we didn't do a run by committee. Kyle just used 3 different running backs. So I remember we started with Breida or Coleman. Then we used Breida or Coleman, and then we used Mostert, but not all like at the same time. If you remember, it was more like this guy, and this guy as the season went along. But at the same time, not so much. Kyle has a huge problem with that.
And
Yeah, because he was used different running backs for different games.
Hold on, we're asking where was he ranked, Kenny?
Isaac Garindo, not a reach.
Wow. We traded up for him too.
I know that game versus Louisville and that Holiday Bowl that helped his stock, because for people who don't know, he was a backup all year. He was a backup all year.
With Isaac, the only problem is that he's dealing with injuries as well, and once in a while. So.
And he's a fumbling problem.
Well, he's lightning though. He is lightning in a bottle, being 6'2", 225, runs a 4.33.
Yeah, he's fast as
And
shit.
he's
Oh my
a
god.
wide receiver. He's a wide receiver turned running back.
And the defense,
really, he's an offensive weapon. He's not just a running back.
I also like to give credit to the other team sometimes, and there's some really good defenses out there, and they're really good at popping the ball out these days, man. They'll knock the ball right out of your friggin' hand. They're very good at it.
They will. Ask CMC in the Super Bowl. Oh, sorry, guys.
Hey, guys,
I'm sorry.
Oh, shit.
I know you guys saw every CMC carry in 2023, but, bro, he was...
I know. The one time you need to hold on to the ball. So here we are. We're still in the 4th round. We took Jacob Cowing, wide receiver, at 135 out of Arizona. Kenny, where was he ranked?
Not a reach.
Okay. And we haven't seen him on the field. So hopefully Kyle said, oh, he's coming along. Hopefully
Jacob Cowing.
See him next year.
He's fast too, but he needs to hit the weight room.
Now, just like Oregon, I do not like Arizona team, so boo, reach.
Well,
It's a
now,
bias thing.
Speaking of
Jake-
dickbacks, suck this year.
I hope he's not another Ronnie Bell, Danny Grace.
No, they don't suck. They just
that's
Jalen
also
Hurts.
what I'm hoping, Kenny. But John Lynch said we need to get younger and faster, and this guy's a 4.38 40
He's
guy.
fast, right?
use his ass on
So-
something.
Yeah.
It would be nice to see him on the field. We'll see what happens this next
Oh,
year. It's the second
Debo-
year. The
Debo's
red shirt
gone.
comes off,
prefer
right?
Has to
a
step up.
4-2 guy.
And not having Ayuk around.
I know.
I mean, and DeMarcus Robinson's going to miss time because of some sort of suspension. So we're going to see what Cowing. Hopefully, we see him in games early.
I know these
But-
young guys have to step up. The opportunity is there, and we're gonna find out.
Yes, this is true.
They
So
didn't-
Jarrett Kingston,
Ah,
a guy who
jeez.
played left guard for us all preseason, actually looked
Mm.
pretty good. And then the Niners
God,
did
man.
the bonehead move and
Why
decided
would you
to
do
cut the
that?
guy that we would have had for 4 years for cheap
yeah,
and keep some scrub freaking veteran because that's how Shanahan is.
Yeah.
They should be fired
And
for
the
that
freaking
alone.
the Carolina Panthers said thank you.
Mhm.
We can
Pick him
solve
up.
this very easily. We have to expand the rosters. Done.
Boom.
Honestly, the way I look at it, Kenny, is you want 17, 18 games? Give us 56, 57 player rosters.
Yeah, so we can rotate more, keep people healthy and fresh.
But we'll see what ends up happening.
Fresco.
It's something that I think it's something the NFL's actually talked about.
Muy
at some
fresco,
point.
motherfuckers.
I would also like, David, I would also like to see us have the option of protecting more people on our practice squad. You can't just go to someone's minor league squad and just pick off players whenever you want. We have to be
We
able
still
to
got like
protect
12
somebody.
players to go here, Kenny.
Okay,
So where's Jarrett Kingston a reach?
absolutely not.
Okay. So Tatum Bethune. This guy actually came in the preseason in 2024, looked really good. He ended up getting dinged up and missing some time during the season when we probably needed him. But he is a middle linebacker. This guy is Fred Warner's backup.
T-Tone Buffoon.
But at 251, was he a reach?
No. Not
Okay,
a,
so he wasn't. All right.
was he
So
US?
here we are.
Say where he
We're
was
going to
from?
be moving
US.
on.
Okay.
We got Mikael Williams with the 11th overall pick. A lot of sites had him as the second best edge in this draft class, although it's kind of a thing. It depends on where you go and who you look at, right? And John Lynch has actually he's been quoted as saying, we were actually looking at offensive players, but the players we wanted were gone. So that makes you wonder, who were they looking at?
Kelvin Banks and Membo.
I think that's who they were
Membo,
looking at.
definitely. Please not Kelvin Banks.
Also probably Will Campbell, Mason Graham. I think all those four guys were in play if they fell to us.
And they didn't, though.
Mm-mm.
So here we are with Mikael Williams.
That's
a
probably why
true
they try to
4-3
trade up.
Edge,
Mhm.
A true 4-3 edge, a guy that sets the edge, plays the run very well. His pass rush skills
Not
need work,
developed
but
yet.
he's only 21, and he can put in some work with our coaches.
And Georgia rotated a lot of players too. That's one of the
They
things
did.
He had 5
So-
sacks on an injured ankle.
That's true. That is true. He had a lot of hurries too.
Ew.
So, but where was he ranked overall, Kenny?
Taga. Okay.
20th something, right?
So who we're talking about? Mikael Williams. He was
Yes.
supposed to
Right.
go. He was supposed to go in the top 10.
Really?
He wasn't a reach. So what I'm hearing though is that he was a lot higher on everyone's board,
Mhm.
but he fell as the draft, process went on, and not the draft itself, but like coming up to the draft, as everyone started looking more and more and more into it, he kind of fell on everyone's thing. So he didn't get taken by Carolina, which the Niners thought would happen, and he didn't get taken by the Saints, which the Niners thought might happen, and that's why they were trying to move up, and he fell to them. Not a reach. That's a good
Yeah.
pick.
Wait, who the Saints take again?
Kelvin Banks Jr.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
They
Look,
took,
the Kelvin- The Saints
Mhm.
and the Jets, what they did in the last two drafts is they shored up their tackle positions. Fashanu, Banks, Fautanu.
Because they've always sucked. So they were
Fashanu,
lucky.
Membo. So the Jets and the Saints, what they're doing is they're beefing up their O-line so that they can protect the quarterback so they can start winning.
Kenny, the Jets took Fashanu. That dude's a right tackle. So
Well,
Membo's a right. They took
So
two
maybe
right
it's
tackles.
maybe it's Fautanu. And whatever it is, that the last two drafts, the Jets and the Saints, they have been beefing up their O-line. I mean, you have to do that. You have to protect your quarterback.
So
Well, when you suck, you have that
No,
option.
it was
Steelers.
Fashanu.
Mhm.
It was
Fashanu went to the Steelers. I remember because I was looking at these guys last year.
Well,
He went
whatever
to the
guy's
Steelers. Fashanu went to the Jets, and he's a right tackle. So Membo is probably going to have to move to the left.
Well, I don't know who
No,
it is. Neither one of
they
those
might
guys.
move
But whoever they
Rashanu's
took
the
last year, they took on the left. This year they have a guy on the right.
Mhm.
Saints did the same thing. They had a guy on the right and they took a guy for the left.
Yep.
And you know what?
Wow.
Tommy's not wrong. When a team sucks, you do that. But that's why you do that, because you suck. And so you need to be better. And what do? You make the trend stronger.
Yeah. And also
So
after
the next pick, we take a interior run stuffer who is kind of big, can get his hands up, pass rush skills need work. But Alfred Collins, defensive tackle out of Texas. Where was he ranked, Kenny?
So Collins wasn't a reach, but a lot of people thought that he could be there in the next round. So that's all I'll say about that. I don't think it's a reach, though, because he's what we needed. And he's a big boy, and he does the job. And if they didn't think he'd be there when they picked again, not a reach. Now, I don't have that. This year, there's actually three of the people I hate to say it, four of the people we drafted this year, and it wouldn't surprise you, four of the people we drafted this year are on the reach chart, bro. On the new reach chart, they're on there. So that's a little scary. But not Alfred Collins. Not Michael Williams, no.
Bryant's in the chat.
What's
No, Po Buddy's nerfed, Brian.
what's up?
What's up, buddy? Whoa.
Hey-o.
Whoa.
Fondlers. No, reaching around is
Well, I can reach the top shelf.
reaching around is a courtesy.
So, What's up, Brian? Good to see you, buddy. Thanks for tuning in.
What's up?
Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe, people. I'm almost to 200. One of these years, I'll get there.
Oh, hopefully. Stop unsubscribing, people.
I know. I was at 198, and then like 4 people unsubscribed. I was going, what the hell?
What? No.
Oh, wow.
Oh, you're on 198.
Whatever, right?
Now you're on
Well, I'm
198.
back up to 198. So let's keep it. Let's keep the positive energy, right? So here we are. We're in the third round at pick 75. We picked Nick Martin, who needs to put on about 9 pounds, and he's like the mirror image of Dre Greenlaw. I'm not saying he's going to be him. He's going to be Nick Martin.
Right.
But he's literally needs to hit the weight room, and he's the exact same size, speed, and everything as Dre Greenlaw. He covered running backs, tight ends in college, played the run. I mean, yeah, he's an outside linebacker, which was a need. But Kenny, where was he ranked?
Okay, now this is gonna hurt, and nothing's happened yet, so it's it's early. But since 2017, Nick Martin is just outside the top 5 as one of the biggest reaches that Kyle has made. Nick Martin was taken 75th. The big board consensus ranking had him 170th ranked guy. Now, let's not forget that he was injured for 7 games last year, so that's probably why he fell. If he hadn't been injured those 7 games, he probably would have been a first, second rounder, I believe. So, but he was one of the biggest reaches in history for Kyle. Yeah.
So he could be good for us. All this is yet to be determined because they're rookies.
Yeah, he could break the curse.
So the next guy, Upton Stout, kind of on the small side, but very versatile guy. He can play slot. He can play outside. He can play safety. And he has a vertical. I think he was ranked 5th overall vertical at the Underwear Olympics, folks, the combine.
Yeah.
So
at least they wear underwear.
Well, that's the thing is I wish they would throw those guys in full gear and put them on grass and let's see what they can do. But that's my opinion.
That would be a big difference.
So where was he ranked, Kenny?
Okay, so we're talking Upton Stout now. Upton Stout, sadly, is also on the reach chart. We took him at 100, and he was supposed to go around 175.
Ooh.
So kind of a reach there. We had other picks in that area, so we didn't have to wait. And I said this on the other show is that people believe that Upton Stout could have been gone about the 6th round. It's probably what they were thinking.
Hey, that's right. That's right, Brian. Nobody rides for free.
Yes.
So the next guy, CJ West, I know he's not a reach because we took him around where he was supposed to go.
Yeah.
And I actually really like this guy after watching film and everything. I think he's going to be I think he's going to work out excellent for us. But I'm correct in saying he wasn't, right?
He was not, sir. He was taken right around where he was supposed to go. I had this conversation with Steve-O in another chat. It's late 3rd, early 4th is when he was supposed to go. So you're right, pretty good right there with CJ West. I think this may be one of the steals.
And now the next guy, Jordan Watkins. Now he was where is he out of? Mississippi.
Old Miss.
Old Miss. So this guy's around 5'11 and a half from what I read. He's not quite as beefy as Debo, but he runs a lot faster. He's like a 4.37.
Yeah, he's quick.
Him, Cowing, Brandon Ayuk, Jawan Jennings, Kittle could be a problem for some teams. So
they really could be, especially if you use the faster guys to stretch out the defense and open up the underneath things for Jennings and Kittle, right?
And if MC is doing well like he was previously to his injury, look out. We're going to be a force on offense.
I'm very biased when it comes to the wide receiver we drafted, because if you're able to stretch the field and open up the intermediate and the short routes, you're actually helping out our slot guys. Look.
And that's true. That's true. So, but he's in Shanahan's offense, so chances are he's getting red-shirted. I'm not counting on seeing him, but he has really good hands. He doesn't drop the ball much, which that's something that the Niners, before when they pick a wide receiver, it was almost like, oh, this guy drops the ball a lot. Let's get him. But now we're getting guys that have sure hands and are faster, which you need to do in the NFL. You need to do that.
Yeah, and we know Kyle can scheme these boys open. And if they're fast, they can find those soft spots in zones, or if they can beat man coverage. Purdy's going to put the ball where it needs to be. And, if it works out.
So the next pick, Jordan James, I heard that he does not have a fumbling problem.
But hold on, David. We didn't talk about Watkins. Watkins was a pretty big reach. He was taken 138. Everyone else said about 284, possibly an undrafted guy.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to be like wide receiver 3 or 4, in the future. I don't see him making you never know what's going to happen though, right?
He could be the next Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua. We don't know.
Yeah, you never know. So Jordan James here at 147, I've heard he does not have a fumbling problem. His yards after contact was great. He had 15 rushing touchdowns. Honestly, this guy, after watching film, fits our scheme better than Isaac Guerrero. Even though he's not as fast, 4.55 40, he fits our scheme. If we need a hard 4 yards, this guy's probably going to get us that hard 4 yards.
That's what Tommy does. He gives you a hard 4.
Ooh.
Inches.
Is Tommy listening?
Something probably.
Oh my goodness.
Tommy's making a T-bone right now. He's not listening to us.
So, where was Jordan James ranked though, Kenny?
Jordan James, not a reach.
I don't like using that term. That's why I'm saying are they ranked?
No, not ranked. They weren't ranked like too high.
Bryant.
They weren't ranked too high.
Bryant, buddy, Birdie is Kyle's guy. He is. I highly doubt that happens.
And he's cheap still, so.
Yeah.
So did Purdy. But that doesn't mean they're the same guy.
I do have to say one thing for I think he's still with the Rams there, Bryant. But I do have to say one thing. Who we got here? Spongy new. Oh, I definitely ain't reading that private chat. So at this point in time, we are to Marcus Sigel, free safety, a true roaming free safety, another fast guy, 4.37. So we're getting some team speed here. He's a sure tackler from Kansas State. Where was he supposed to go, Kenny?
Marquez Siegel is on the reach list. Oh, I'm sorry, on the list of people that may be picked too early by the 49ers.
There you go. I like that. That's better.
He was taken 160th by the greatest team in the world, the San Francisco 49ers, but he was ranked by all the horrible teams and terrible publications.
They weren't the best team this year.
265, he was ranked by everyone else. We thought 160. 100 picks. That's a guy also who they think could have been undrafted, and he would have been there. So maybe take an old lineman there. I don't know. That's crazy, but I know. But
yeah, but we still took him. He's a 49er, and he's one of the first free safeties we've had in a long time. So
well, look, he's a nut now, so I love him.
And the next guy, we're jumping to the 7th round. A lot of experience in this player. He actually played with I think a torn ACL, and he had a knee brace, and he played through it.
Mm-hmm.
He also
does that.
He also missed like 7 games, though. I don't think he played.
I'm saying who does that. I'm going to tell you who does that. Curtis Rourke, quarterback out of Indiana, does that.
The Maple Missile.
And he's a big dude, 6'5". He's a big dude.
When did he miss 7 games? Because this year he played almost every game.
Oh, so it was the year before that?
Probably.
Okay. Thank you, John Jay.
I think he was with a different college, too, when he missed
I know,
that
basically,
time.
he played with Ohio University.
Miami of Ohio, yeah.
Miami University, which they play in the MAC. Started over like 27 games in 4 seasons, and then so he probably missed some time. But when he went to Indiana or whatever, he played around 12 games, so that's almost a full season.
Yeah, exactly. Because a lot of people don't know this. I honestly just found it out a couple years ago because I didn't watch college football until last year. This year is they have about 12, 13 games, and then if you go into the playoffs, it could be like 14, 15. Is that right?
Yep.
There you go.
So Curtis Rourke, we need a QB3. We're going to need a cheap QB room because, as Bryant said, we're about to sign him for $55 million a year or whatever. And honestly, Brian, it's going to be like a team-friendly deal, kind of like Kittle's. Like you should look up that breakdown. But we'll see how all that plays out here soon, hopefully. But where was he ranked, Kenny? Curtis Rourke.
Rourke was not a reach, and the reason I know this is because I actually picked Rourke and Collins as in my mock for the Niners. So that I remember that Rourke was supposed to go around the 3rd, 4th round, and we got him in the 5th or 7th? Wow,
yeah.
7th at the 227.
So
I know,
not a whatever you call it.
and also, even though stats are not like the big picture, he only had 70 incompletions the whole year.
Yeah. And he can see over the lineman, which is nice.
Yeah. Now
he played through it, Bryant. He put a brace on and played through it. Who left?
I know, like,
I think Tommy or Spongy. I can't see.
So he played injured, kept a nationally ranked Indiana team for most of the year, and they were, I think, in the college football playoff. So that says a lot about him. Now, I'm not saying he's great. he's one of those quarterbacks who is a great career backup. He's a good quarterback to have. And for people who have the assumption Kyle likes pocket guys, he's a pure pocket guy. He excels in the pocket. He does not excel well once now, of course, he was hurt. Maybe that's why he had to be a pocket guy.
Yeah. Yeah, but he's like a 6'5", and I don't want to say this in a derogatory way, but people calling him a 6'5" statue. So as long as he gets rid of the ball quickly and he throws it with some gusto and he hits his guy, then it's fine. But if he has to scramble around back there, and especially behind this line, we don't want to count on that. So
that's exactly it. So the next guy, we finally take an offensive lineman at 249. Korey from Iowa. He comes from a heavy run zone blocking scheme. So what do you think? Where is he ranked, Kenny?
He was not that word that we don't use on this show. He was not that. So he wasn't taken too early. He was taken right around where he should go. Also, a lot like Curtis Rourke, he's an older player. So he should be developed. And as far as run blocking goes, he's an ace. We have to coach him up on pass blocking, and we might get a gem there.
Might get a chance to do it. You never know. But he might get cut and picked up by the Panthers.
I hope not. I would like to see more rotation this year on all our positions instead of letting people go, I don't want to, but I'd rather go with Connor Colby than Ben Barch. Let's just put it that way. Like we're investing in this rookie. Let's develop him. Let's play him. Let's see what he has. We can always pick up a free agent that nobody else wants anytime.
And you did bring up the offensive line and how it sucks, like having a guy that's a statue back there. I don't think that's going to be very good for us at this point. Maybe the Niners start addressing that in the future. You never know.
I hope next
the last guy in the draft, Kenny,
yeah.
the kick return ace from Montana, Junior Bergen. Where was he ranked?
He is not on the list of the word that we don't say. He's not there.
Okay.
And he has a lot of upside. I mean, John Jay pointed out he plays for like a subdivision of they played. I know for a fact they played Cal Poly and they played Cal Davis. They played like Montana State, Portland State, this state, that state. So it's hard to judge him, but what he's done still has to be respected because those are his peers and he's better than them. And so if he's better than all of them.
Yeah, me and Crazy Jews, we follow a lot of programs. I don't know if he's still in the chat, but Montana State or what? It just says Montana, so University of Montana. They are considered the powerhouse of their conference, their region, just like North Dakota State is the powerhouse of their conference. Montana and North Dakota State are always battling it out for that subdivision 2 or Division 1 championship game.
Yeah.
That's how
they
good
also played
so they have like the premier Division 2 crop of players.
Yeah. So there's a lot of upside.
I actually like what we've done. Like this offseason, we signed a lot of guys that are solid special teamers and good backups. We're pretty much trying to get the depth back that our team has had in previous years. We didn't have that last year, obviously. A couple guys got hurt and our season was. But, we have a new special teams coach, which the last guy was supposed to fix things, but it just got worse.
We've been trying to deal with this special teams for a long time now.
Historically, under Shanahan, the special teams unit hasn't been great, the coverage unit specifically. But this year, it seems like the Niners are changing that. I actually said during the season, like, we need more than just a coach. We need to freaking bring back, like guys that can tackle, guys that take good angles. Spongy, do I got to change your name back?
Guys that punch you in the mouth. That's what we need.
It's supposed to say Dak Prescott.
Spongy should be worried about.
We love Dak Prescott.
Spongy should be worried about Dallas this year, bro. I already called it that they're winning that division. I know how crazy that sounds, but I called that shit. It's going to be George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb.
See that there you go, Spongy. That's true. We love Dak Prescott.
We do.
We do. That okay, I can say that. That's
And
fine.
listen, something crazy. Dallas actually did something that nobody thought they would actually do, which is something that Seattle did, which was very smart, which was taking offensive linemen. And so now they have Tyler Booker. They have three Tylers on the O line. So they beefed up their O line. I know they're all pretty good. I can't remember their names right now because I don't care about Dallas. But they have three good offensive linemen on there. They built up their O line. Seattle built up their O line. Everyone else is doing this, man. We can't
It's
be
not
watching
a thing,
PCR.
Frisco, but we don't need an O line. Who needs to protect the quarterback and keep him healthy?
Oh yeah, we're doing a new campaign.
It's overrated. You don't need an
Mhm.
O line. You can win.
Jake could
I'm
be
already
both.
starting. I'm already starting the reverse psychology campaign.
Yeah.
But he is. If I need someone to bring my groceries in, I am calling Jake Brindle. Oh man. I don't think this is gonna happen, but team captain.
Anything can happen.
Yeah.
Anything's possible.
I honestly hope he gets beat out by Hennessy or Zakel, but we'll see.
Well, listen,
Maybe even Nugent. What if the rookie from last year?
Yeah.
Yep.
Now he's an NFL vet, though. He was with us for a year. Come on, Kyle. He's an NFL vet, buddy.
So Dallas already had two good offensive linemen, and then this year they drafted Tyler Booker, who could be one of the best, if not the best guard in this draft. And then they also took a Johnny Cornelius from Oregon in the 6th round, another offensive lineman. Other teams are starting to do this. I don't know what the Niners are thinking. They have their own idea. They have their own plan. That's fine. But other teams.
Well, Kenny, remember we picked at 100, right? The Niners have had several conversations with a guy out of William and Mary named Charles Grant. The Raiders, right before us, took Charles Grant. They also took Rogers. I can't remember his first name. They took two offensive linemen right before.
Rogers,
they said this to us.
Caleb Rogers, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
So pretty much they said, F you, 49ers. We're taking your guys.
The Raiders now have Tom Brady, Pete Carroll, Spy Tech, and Chip Kelly all over there. Be afraid, Kansas City. Be afraid.
All right. Well, hey, it's time to get out of here. We're kind of over past, of course, we always have to argue on this show, folks. Debate is what it's called. And so, if you want to see the spirited debates, keep tuning in.
Back and forth.
Don't forget to subscribe. I'm 2 away. 2 away. Come on, people. I actually need to get like the 204 or 205.
You could just make 2 new accounts and I'll put you there.
I know, right? But, so we're going to get on out of here. I'd say tune in for the rest of the week, but we really don't got anything going on. I know. It's kind of the dead zone. So,
Spongy, that's
maybe we'll put something together,
We have to wash Spongy's mouth out with soap.
All right. So we're going to get on out of here. Everyone, thanks for tuning in. Have a fantastic night. Ooh, Spongy's Wi-Fi. No, it didn't like the cuss word. It just said, nope.
That's what happens.
Oh, no.
So we're going to get on out of here. Everyone, have a fantastic night. And as Corey Davis says, go 49ers and F all 31.